All right, Schlockmeister fans, continuing with this lascivious world of A.C. Stevens and Ed Wood Jr., we're going to watch Dropout Wife, 1972. Let's check it out. This is Janet. She's getting on with this dude here, lucky guy. Right after getting her pipes cleaned, her friend Peggy comes to the door.
Hello, Janet. Peggy, come on. What happened to you? Come in.
Peggy's about to leave her husband and kids.
I just have to get out of the whole mess. Could you put me up for a while? Of course. You'll never know. I was so nervous I thought I was going out of my mind. I just had to get out of the house. Tell me what happened. I left Jim and the kids.
We then see a flashback of their life together, specifically their wedding night. Can't show you a whole hell of a lot of this scene.
Everything's gonna work out just fine. I wonder how the kids are. Don't worry. After 4 years, Jim can take care of the kids okay.
Sex life's getting boring.
We're doing the same old thing over and over again in the same old way. You know, when I was in college, the guys used to talk about how much fun it was to make love in the rain, or in a shower in the bathtub.
We get another flashback to Jim the asshole.
What did you do that for?
Because it's just not there anymore.
There was a time when it meant everything to you.
There was a time when you didn't look like this. There was a time when this house was spotless. And there was a time before all these goddamn bills and those brats are driving me up the walls.
How could you say that? You've got 2 lovely kids and a third on the way.
Yeah, I should have my head examined. Now we got more bills. Now come the hospital bills. No matter how much overtime I put in, there's never enough.
Well, it was your cock that got us into this situation. You had your fun and expect to pay for it.
Well, we're led to believe that him hitting her is going to lead to problems with the baby.
We lost the baby. Yeah, well, at least he says it saved their marriage.
He just suggested wife swapping.
I am so sick and tired of these self-styled experts. We've been to marriage counselors, psychologists, sexologists. What makes you think that a wife-swapping group's going to change all that?
Well, I can't show you much, but there's an orgy that breaks out. She is willing to try it, and they do it. Peggy loves it.
When I started on this, I thought it was to save a marriage. Now, what's a marriage?
She also experiences her first women at this orgy. There are literally 6 couples spread out all over the living room.
That sounds like a real ball. You know, you should consider yourself lucky to have had such an experience. That sounds like a real ball. But I didn't want it to be. Of course not. But if you're not getting it on, well, you gotta look somewhere else.
Their problems didn't disappear.
What the hell did you do that for?
It's gotten so that every time you touch me, it makes me sick. You're impossible.
You're the one that's impossible. You've got no sex in you. At least not for me. I turn my head for 1 minute, you're balling every creep that comes around. Hey, don't think I haven't found out about you and those girls, too. Yeah, that's right. I know all about it, you little bitch. That's our problem. You can't make it with men anymore. It's the broads you want to shack up with.
You'll never know. You can have all your money. Your house. Your kids. You can eat filet mignon with your big executives. I jumped into your life. And now I'm dropping out. Oh, and you're a delight to be
Well,
with.
Janet fixed her up with somebody else.
Just the right thing?
Well, it comes natural, I guess. I'm having such a lovely time. You know, it's been a long time since I've been in a place like this.
Well, he suggests, let's come back to my place for a nightcap and whatever. She likes the whatever part.
No, that's Mary. Engaged. She's flying out here next week. Gonna be married.
She's a little hurt when she finds out he's taken. Although, she's clearly doing the same games that he's doing, so whatever. Can't really show you this, but she's in bed with the dude. She fell asleep, and then the dude brought another dude in and said, hey, let's trick her. Let's switch it up. She goes with it.
I seen double.
Double your pleasure.
But is this really the life that Peggy wants?
I really miss the kids.
Frankly, Peggy, I don't think you should see them anymore. You are a bitch and an unfit mother. You wanted to drop out. Now stay out.
How dare you talk to me like that? You goddamn bastard!
Now you get this straight. And I mean get it damn straight. I'm filing for divorce and custody of the children.
She drowns her sorrows in the bar.
Well, I play for you anytime, Janet. Especially during motel time.
Where they pick up a couple of guys. Which leads right to the hotel room, which I can't really show you. Eventually they switch partners in bed. The girls started making out then, and then Peggy had a change of heart.
Pushover or no pushover, I don't make it with girls.
Okay, get lost. Sounds like you are a dime a dozen.
I left them. And for what? To be free? To live? Really live, I thought. Oh, what a joke. They're what's real. Maybe I can go back. They've got to take me back. We'll make it work this time. I just know we will.
And that's how our movie ends. All right, let's talk about Dropout Wife. This is a movie Ed Wood made. He wrote it, actually. He didn't direct it. This A.C. Stevens, otherwise known as Steven Apostoloff, something like that, directed this thing. They made a bunch of nudies together in the early 70s. This is one of them. Dropout Wife is about a woman who's married, and she has 2 kids. She's pregnant, and she and her husband don't have a great sex life anymore, and they just want something to spark it up. So he suggests wife swapping, joining a wife swapping club that a friend of his joined. And she's like, what are you talking about? That's crazy. But then she immediately says, okay, let's go. And then the next scene, they just cut away real quick, and there's 6 couples on the living room floor, all of them bumping and grinding with each other. Very dirty. Lots of nudity, of course. And then she's like totally into the lifestyle. She even says, marriage, what marriage, Well, right at the very beginning of this movie, we saw her go to her friend Janet's house because she apparently is leaving her husband and kids. And then we see the flashback to what happened, their problems and everything else. She lost the baby, miscarriage after her husband hit her, and joining the wife swapping and everything. Well, she liked the swapping so much that she basically wanted to do that. She wanted to sleep with whoever she could, whenever she could, and she just got tired of her husband. She literally dropped out of the marriage, left him with the kids, and took off. So Peggy sets her up on a date. They have sex. Then the 2 of them at one point go out together. They get picked up by 2 guys. They end up in a hotel room somewhere. And they switch couples a couple of times, swapping. And then the girls start going at it a little bit. But then all of a sudden, Peggy has a change of heart. She'd been sleeping with some women earlier, but apparently sleeping with her friend Janet just doesn't cut it. So she says, I don't sleep with girls. And then they said, well, get the hell out of here then. So and then the other 3 left, or she left, and then 3 of them did it. So anyway, the last scene is her in the park lamenting the fact that she left her family and she wants to go back to them. And then she runs back to them, or she runs, and then presumably is running back to them to see if she can give it a second chance, even though her husband said he was filing for divorce. But whatever, that's the end of Dropout Wife. So there you go. Anyway, It's a ridiculous movie, yeah, but actually seemed to be somewhat well made. It was preposterous, and the dialogue was just ludicrous. Some of the dirty dialogue was funny too. It's like, oh, put it in deeper, deeper. Oh, you suck a great cock. Oh, it's almost like you're watching some really bad porn, although there's not really porn in this movie. It's more softcore. Although in the opening scene, in fact later on too, there was a couple of scenes where I think there was actually real sex going on. I can't be sure. But anyway, there's a lot of nudity in this movie, both male and female frontal nudity. Everything you want is in this movie. So it's a dirty thing. But hey, the women are fairly attractive, so why not, huh? A couple of orgy scenes thrown in, threesomes. Ed Wood was a perv back then, I guess. There you go. So anyway, that is Dropout Wife. You can get this on the Lascivious World of Ed Wood. I think you can get this on the Big Box of Wood also, and maybe it's a standalone DVD somewhere else also. I don't know. But anyway, I will leave a link down below to one of those things. And yeah, you should definitely check this one out. It's interesting. And if you're a fan of 70s nudie movies, this one's a great one. We'll just leave it at that. Check it out. Leave some comments. It's Dropout Wife, otherwise known as Pleasure Unlimited. This was a private screenings VHS tape in the late 80s also, which I own. That's where I had it originally. Now it's Dropout Wife. Check it out. Leave some comments. Bye.